Hey Cashers, November is winding down. It's been an interesting month. You may have seen on social media, Geocache had a cyst removed. That ended up being much larger than we expected. It was originally like the size of a quarter, maybe about a quarter-inch tall from the raised spot on her back. Apparently it had been there for quite a while because when they did the surgery to remove it, it was a fairly large size. So she ended up with quite a large incision. But she came through it just fine. She got her stitches out recently. The vet's really happy with how she's healing up. And we got to go on a little adventure lab with her. I thought it was fitting taking her along. There was one in the area called Lakeside Zoo at this one park. They have all kinds of sculptures of animals there of different kinds. And why not take a goat to see animal sculptures? I thought it was funny. That's how my humor works. I'm weird and quirky, whatever you want to call it. So that actually getting to do that and did one park and grab put me up to 299 geocaches, right there on the edge of 300. So trying to figure out what I want to do for that, if I want to find a special cache for it or just grab whatever. I haven't decided yet. Podcast-wise, well, you may have seen the post where my computer sound card died on my previous computer. I had to get a new one, which I was not happy with. My old computer, granted, was 10 years old and had been refurbished, and I had had it for a good 8 years. I'd had it for over 8 years, but when I got it, it still works great, other than the sound card just died on it. So you're trying to listen to audio, and it's all garbled and glitching, and you can't really do audio editing and stuff. I would record fine. I could record it on that device and move it over to a different device, and it would play just fine. It was just playing it back. The sound was all trashed up. Makes it really difficult to do anything for the podcast, and I finally had to bite the bullet, and I didn't want to, but we got a new computer for me, new laptop. And my husband will tell you, it drives him nuts. I hate having to do purchases like this. A lot of people get excited when they get to get a new phone or get to get a new laptop or something. I hate doing it because I don't like spending the money on it. I hate it. I like my device, and when it stops working well, technology changes so much. I can't just go get the same device that I had because it's outdated. So I had to get a new laptop. I'm actually pretty happy with it. That's usually what happens is I moan and groan about doing it, and then when I get it, I'm usually happy with the result, but it takes a lot of looking and searching typically, but we found a good one, reasonably priced, that didn't make me want to have a small heart attack when my husband told me how much it was. Him and I have different ideas of what's not expensive. But so that was interesting. Yeah, just the other night recorded the first podcast interview on it. And I'm pretty excited about that interview. It's going to be the first episode of the new season that comes out in January. Really excited about that. I've got another interview scheduled for first part of December, and I got 2 more interviews that I'm working on getting scheduled. One of them we've had a little bit of trouble working out. I'm trying to schedule an interview with a geocacher in Australia. She also has a podcast of her own called Geocaching Down Under. And we've had a bit of issues because of the time difference. I think it's 15-hour time difference between me and her. So we really got to do something on like a Saturday night. For me, it would be Saturday evening. It's Sunday morning for her. So trying to work that out. The first time we had it scheduled, I had to reschedule because something came up. The second time, she had to reschedule because something came up, which is fine. It happens. That kind of stuff happens all the time. It's just we have fewer dates to work with because it's got to be that Saturday, Sunday. And with the holidays, weekends get really busy with family stuff for my family. at least my next 3 weekends are booked up with holiday family stuff, and then Christmas hits, and it's a busy time of year, and that's why I take it off from the podcast. Even though I'm still working on stuff for the podcast, still recording, I have a bit more relaxed pace. I don't have to stress out about getting stuff edited and out on time. I do hope to have, by the end of December, January will be loaded up and waiting to release in the system. And I'm hoping to have at least part, if not all of, both episodes of February loaded up and waiting for release in the system. That gives me a little wiggle room if something comes up and I can't get something out right on time. I usually record things early and then edit them and get them scheduled for release, so it's already kind of out there on the web. You just can't access it because it's not scheduled to release yet. So that gives me wiggle room if something comes up or I get sick or whatever happens. So that's what's going on. I actually have most of season 4 planned out for the year. Granted, that's subject to change because things come up. I get different ideas. Somebody might suggest something, so I move it around. It's all flexible and changes, but I've got most of season 4, a lot of ideas for season 4, and I'm excited about season 4 and some of the stuff coming up for that. So yeah, that's been my November. Thanksgiving was good. I don't know where everybody is in the world watching this from, but if you celebrated Thanksgiving, I hope you had a good one. I hope you have a great Christmas coming up. Mini adventures will be dropping shortly after this. Actually, it's funny how the way that works out. Waiting to the end of the month to do a monthly week recap, and then mini adventures launches shortly after that on the first Sunday of the following month. So yeah, that's actually coming up really soon. So I hope you like the upcoming mini adventures, and that's another thing. I've got a lot of the mini adventures planned for next year, for 2023. It's weird saying that. Yeah, that's another thing I just have a long list of ideas for, and seeing what works out and scheduling things, and when new ideas pop up, things get moved around. So we'll see what all happens with that. So I hope you're all doing well. Whatever your holidays are, I hope you're enjoying them. Stay safe and cash on.